Hey, are you traveling this summer and you'd like to significantly reduce your roaming fees and, protect yourself from all your information leaking out on the internet so that you don't have somebody starting a credit card in your name?
It's very specifically, yes.
Might I suggest Saley, the worldwide eSIM service backed by North Security. Install once for multiple countries. Avoid lines at airports for those local SIMs, and you can avoid scams too, because that's the thing. You line up at one of those airports and you're like, I'd rather just pay the roaming fee.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. Significantly reduces or eliminates your roaming fees based on the packages that you buy. It's available in 150 countries, 8 regions around the world. Ensures constant internet access without use of public Wi-Fi.
I hope Tim uses this, our Nailing the Apex host, when he goes overseas to watch all of those cars drive around courses and tracks.
I just got off the phone with him. He said he does.
Excellent.
He actually does. He uses it every time he goes. So you can use it too. It's really
got
easy.
it in Budapest?
Yes, because he's not going to Budapest.
I'm just
he's not going to Belgium either.
General
Jack?
question. They got it in Budapest or
They,
not?
well, they can use it in Budapest.
There you go.
Sure,
Awesome.
sure. Yes,
Yeah.
Maddie. What is it? What is it, Maddie?
What's up?
No, my brother was just in Budapest and he used your code.
There you go. See?
What is the code, by the way?
Code's Dangle.
There you go.
All right. So we want you to take your code and save some money. Okay. Promo code is a 15% discount. So go to saley.com/dangle. Use the promo code dangle. Get 15% off. Or just download the app and use the promo code dangle at checkout. Let's start the show.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Hey, so Steve's beard is several days into making a return. People were very upset that you shaved it, Steve.
It's like one day. And I had to... So, anyway, I had to shave the day prior. I'm growing it now.
You're growing it.
Some people were upset that you did have it. I feel like it's 50-50. It's not. It's split down the middle on should you keep it or not.
I can't win,
Yeah,
which means I also can't lose.
exactly.
I'm just going to stay at a tie.
Which 50% of the audience are you going to please?
The beard one
Oh,
You are going with that.
for now.
for now. Yeah.
I'm choosing to have a versatile face.
You could. It doesn't mean you have to be one guy or the other. You can be both.
Yeah.
You can shave some months and not shave other ones.
Or maybe have one of those in-betweeners.
Don't do that.
No, you're right.
You should get a. You should grow a goatee.
Oh,
No. Okay, that...
Yes.
So there's beard, which
Yes!
is my wife going, I like that.
Yeah.
And there's goatee, which I think is divorce.
No. You got to be like mid 2000s catcher, like 2005.
Oh,
I got a pack of lip full of dip.
Yeah.
And you got to have that goatee.
no. Middle reliever for the Jays.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, you definitely took some steroids in the late 90s.
Well, I mean, everyone was doing it. So was I cheating really?
Right. That's what your goatee has to represent.
Got
I feel
it.
like you could wear it well.
Now, does he do the goatee that's like the upside down tee that's just the chin and the soul patch, or does he do the
No.
goatee that's the full all the way
Yeah.
around with
That
the full-
one. That's
Now,
the one I'm thinking
here's-
about.
Sometimes people
Full
shave
around.
that little piece between the bottom lip.
flavor
and the-
saver? Nah.
Yeah. Do you keep the flavor saver or do you shave it
You
down?
keep
Some-
the flavor
keep
saver.
It. You keep it.
All
And
right.
also, Adam, you're like, oh, no hair grows here.
Oh, you don't have
No
any.
hair grows here.
It doesn't connect?
No crops.
No.
Not at all.
Okay. All right. No.
Chin strap?
I could theoretically do it.
I mean, wasn't that
Can
what
you
he
do
had?
that?
and
Didn't he
also
have-
end up in divorce, yeah.
No, he had a beard. He had a mustache. And
He had a
everything
full
going
like
on.
airplane strap, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like
Who did?
you.
You,
'cause it
yeah.
came down.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
your beard didn't rise very high.
No, it didn't.
Jesse.
All right. Now maybe I'll just stay like friggin' this.
I feel like you could do chin strap.
Just call it Funny Looking Guy Podcast.
Is it Fred Durst who had a chin strap?
Yeah, he still does.
Yeah. You could go for
Oh, yeah.
Fred. You should be Fred Durst for Halloween.
You should.
And start prepping now with the beard.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Chocolate starfish. No.
Came into the world as a reject. Look into these eyes. Yeah, right. Yeah, I like that for you. I like
You
that for
could be
a
a
lot.
mean Fred
He
Durst.
could. We get him.
I think I stumbled on
a
something.
big tracksuit, some like '90s baggy jeans. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Jesse.
I can't wear a Yankees hat. I can't do it.
We got to get you a red Yankees hat. I had a red
can't
Yankees
do it.
hat back in the day. I was
Yeah,
a
because you're
big
a
Limp
piece of
Bizkit fan.
shit. You're a fair weather piece of garbage.
No, because I was rolling. What?
What?
Oh.
What is the best version of Roland? There's only one
Air raid
correct-
assault vehicle
you.
or whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that one. Hey, I want to start today's show with something that is actually percolating in the sports world, but it did come up earlier this week. Last week with Gavin McKenna.
Oh.
And I want to play this TikTok because it succinctly explains what is going on. And by the way, I will just say that I love this because screw the Bengals. But Jesse, go ahead and press play.
All right.
This guy might become the NFL's worst nightmare, and he's trying to go back to college football after already being drafted. So this man right here is Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, and he was drafted 17th overall by the Bengals this year. But Shamar here is the only first-round pick to not have signed his rookie contract yet, because the Bengals are trying to shaft him.
Just 1 second. He keeps saying Bengals, like the wrist thing.
No, it's Bengals.
It's Bengals.
Bengal. Like
not like the thing you wear on your wrist. Not Bengal.
Yeah.
Bengals.
You never have one of those for breakfast? Have a nice bagel? God, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
All right.
Team name's not right there.
Is the only first-round pick to not have signed his rookie contract yet, because the Bengals are trying to shaft him. Now, this dispute happening with Shamar and the Bengals isn't about money. He's a first-round pick. He gets $18, almost $19 million, fully guaranteed on his rookie contract. But the reason he's not signing is because the Bengals tried to sneak in a little clause in the contract. And this clause that they tried to sneak in there was saying that if he gets in any trouble, this is a very blanket term, they can void all future guarantees on his contract. So his agent is telling him, no, you're not going to sign that. And he hasn't practiced at all with the team, and he's actually been practicing with Texas A&M. And Shamar here could really mess things up for the NFL. Because one, he could go back to college football. That would probably involve a lawsuit because the NCAA doesn't allow people who were drafted to go play back at college football again. It's possible, but not likely. Number two, he could ask for a trade from the Bengals. Or number three, which is the NFL's worst nightmare, he could re-enter the draft next year. Because basically there's a loophole in Article 6 of the collective bargaining agreement that says if Stewart doesn't sign his rookie contract or play at all in 2025, he can re-enter the draft next year and get drafted by any other team except the Bengals. And now that players have all this insane NIL money, they can afford to sit out if they don't want to play for a team. Like, Shamar could care less about money right now. All he has to do is just not sign a contract and sit out a year, still keep practicing, and then get drafted by a totally different. Sure. And if this happens, and if he does it, this is terrible, terrible, terrible news for the NFL. Because, of course, the NIL changed everything in professional and college sports, even high school.
So, what I found interesting about this story, and by the way, the auto captions do say Bengals, B-A-N-G-L. So,
I didn't even
That's what I'm saying.
a couple of times. So you were right. I just didn't want you to keep saying it and then it distract from the story. It's not because I don't love you. But besides being a big Steelers fan, and viewing Cincinnati and their team as just a bunch of trash cans dressed up in tiger stripes.
Wow.
This is really interesting for, I think, a multitude of reasons. Now, the word today is because of this story, the Trump administration is working on an executive order when it comes to NIL money. So we're going to wait on that, which is insane with all the issues they have.
Epstein. It's a distraction. Epstein. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But leaving that part out of it, because I do want to mention that Front Office Sports did report that today. Leaving that out of it, this kind of player control is crazy. Now, we talked about ELCs in the new CBA with the NHL, and the fact that there has been zero movement. Mm-hmm. They did nothing. Like nothing. The bonuses aren't better. They're not easier to retain. Your 925 is your 925 base.
But that doesn't make any sense to me because the NHLPA and their super good pro-union members fought hard for the young up-and-comers.
They did not.
Like they always do.
Right.
Oh, no. They actually fucking suck.
They didn't limit ELCs to, say, 2 years or something like that. Yeah. Like, or I mean, obviously you can sign a 2-year ELC. Most players do not.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating, and I don't know what the rules are surrounding re-entering the draft. But if NIL money becomes anywhere close to what your rookie minimum is going to be in the NHL, and obviously we're a long way away from that in the NCAA. Long, long way. Gavin McKenna is the outlier.
Yeah.
But let's say Frozen 4 really gains some steam over the next few years. Well, I think we might be talking about a different sort of situation where players go, yeah, you could draft me, or I can wait till I'm 21 and be a UFA and sign anywhere.
And at the end of the day, what's wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think it's really interesting.
Oh, it's super interesting. Like for years, we were like, why on earth don't these players get paid? Well, they get paid through their education. Fuck, shut up. Yeah. That's not paid, right? That's a maybe bougie internship, but it's not getting paid, right? And it's certainly not getting paid my worth, not even close to getting paid my worth. I'm a college star. What are the NCAA like television rights for football, right? And then that friggin' South Park episode, I think, ruined it. and that sort of got the ball rolling. And
like so many things with South Park.
Like so many things with South Park. The NHL, I mean, Gavin McKenna, albeit he's an outlier, he's going to make damn near league minimum next year. And if you count his education on top of the $700,000 that he's getting, you could say he is making league minimum. He's certainly not making rookie league minimum, but he's also not even eligible to be drafted yet. This is interesting, man. And I'm just having a real hard time feeling bad for these teams that have screwed people at every turn for decades.
Jesse, do you feel bad for these teams that have screwed people at every turn for decades?
Which teams are you talking about?
Well, do you feel bad?
CHL teams?
The vast majority. No,
definitely not the CHL teams. I'm talking about sort of like, listen, we are a ways off from this, but what do you think about in a football perspective here? You know, this is a guy that's potentially walking away from $18 or $19 million guaranteed. Is it worth the risk to sit out a year? And, you know, you don't have that year of grind on your body, but you also, you lose a little bit of that development curve that you have that's so important. What do you think about this story and how it pertains, I guess, to hockey eventually? Because if the money starts to come, it could be dangerous.
But just on a second on what Steve was saying, the teams who've screwed, you don't feel bad for the NCAA teams?
No, I don't feel bad for NCAA or NFL teams because they're both, I think, real guilty to different degrees. NCAA didn't have to pay anybody for God knows how long after charging ridiculous tuition fees to their entire class of students. You know, sure, they let a few in for free to play sports for them. But I mean, whenever I see college tuition in the States, my friggin' heart drops, and like Canada's bad enough. And then when it comes to the NFL, I don't think they've ever had guaranteed contracts, and they could just at the drop of a hat say "F you," and I don't owe you this.
In this situation, the reason I wanted to highlight that is because in this situation, the NCAA is winning in the hockey side of things.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, there's nothing. They're coming out on top.
No, I was referring to the NFL. Like when I say these teams that have screwed people for. Technically, Adam is right. Both sides have been screwing people for a long time. Yeah. But I'm in particular talking about the NFL.
Okay, because like I think the NIL stuff right now, as it is currently laid out, is fantastic for NCAA hockey schools, like these big schools that want these top players, because they're only going to get more and more athletes coming over from the CHL to these schools because of the money that's available to these kids. And the lifestyle is so much better. It's playing at a university campus with the top tier facilities. You're surrounded by your peers. You're surrounded by some of the best medical staff that you can get in sports at some of these schools. And you get surrounded by like these football programs too. If you're at one of the schools like Michigan State, that has a great football program and a good hockey program. And for me, like looks like it's going up for all of these schools in terms of creating one of the best top minor league hockey pipelines in hockey right now, as NIL is just growing that for all of these kids. It's I think going to destroy the CHL if it keeps going this way. Well, and not destroy it in terms of end it, but destroy it in terms of like this is going to be the top destination and the CHL is now secondary.
So what I meant when I was going in on NCAA teams, I am referring to their past habits, right? And frankly, exploitation. Totally. But no, they've taken steps to they're heading in the right direction.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but like the reason they're able to offer these types of dollar figures to these athletes is because they're making hand over fist. That
crazy
like
money.
This isn't like a drop in the bottom line, and a lot of these NIL deals, it's bringing in money into these schools in different ways. Like, they're not paying for these NIL deals. They're getting them through the Nike and the Under Armour and the Bowers to facilitate that money to then go to the athletes to then bring them to the schools. Like, these schools are just, they're making way too much money and just paying these athletes these monies. Like, I'm glad that the athletes now are finally getting their fair shake, because if you're getting $1 million NIL deal, you're probably worth 2.5. They still don't pay you to your market value. So I'm glad that these student athletes can get this money.
And all those endorsement deals when they were in university, they weren't able to get them and never did. Yeah? Don't worry, they never did.
Yeah,
they never got them under the table.
I think that what's interesting here for the NCAA is that by lifting their restrictive, stupid policy, they have now opened up a pipeline to more revenue. Because if something like hockey, and I don't just think hockey here. I think there are. I mean, soccer is a growing sport in the United States. I think there's more opportunities now to attract, frankly, the best talent in the world. Right? Forget just Canada and the CHL. What's to stop if you can bring NCAA soccer to the fore, or make it 50% of what NCAA basketball or football is? Why would they sign up for programs? These 14-year-old kids, why are they signing up for these programs and being a part of these teams in Europe or in South America when they could come to the United States, make a lot of money, and then go and choose where they want to go? Like, I think that there is
the thing about over in Europe and soccer, that money's available to them when they're 50.
Are they being paid like that, though?
Yeah, I think
like
some
millions?
of those kids are, right? When you get into
some of the best
those pipelines, for those soccer players. And the NCAA didn't choose this path. The reason they're here,
it was forced on them.
They were sued into oblivion constantly about for just the like rights that these kids had to earn money, and they were forced into this through litigation. I think if it was up to them, they would have still been doing the we keep all the money and don't pay anybody anything.
I mean, student athletes. that episode really, that's South Park. Sorry, that's that whole episode was just really kind of laid it bare.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating thing. Now, it's going to take a bit. I think, too, you're going to have situations where...
That was the oldest sound you've ever seen.
Sorry, sorry. I was trying to hold back a burp and I snorted. 37, already making weird snort noises.
Sorry, man.
I got hair in my ears, on my shoulders. Where's this all coming from? I wanted to kind of dovetail that with the fact that...
Crosby's getting traded?
Yes. The CHL is interesting because Gavin McKenna couldn't play in the NCAA last year. Mm-hmm. So the CHL is essentially going to take its new position in some ways as the, hey, here are the guys that are most likely to make the jump to the NCAA. So, there might be 5-10 guys who do and are significant pieces each year. Mm-hmm. It does also, though, allow more things to open up for the CHL internationally too, because there is that little window that the CHL has that the NCAA doesn't, where you're not done high school.
I think it's also going to open people's eyes to the level of competition, because there's going to be, I don't know, some like late first, early second round pick that signs in a school and realizes I'm not better than this 21, 22-year-old undrafted guy. Because even though I'm projected to be better than them one day, I'm not.
Not yet.
I'm not yet. And what use is that to Boston College if I can't deliver for them right now? I'm going to be some depth guy. I'm not going to get the minutes I otherwise would have. It's going to hurt my development, and it's going to hurt my future earnings. It's not going to be for everybody.
What do you think? What do you think would have happened with a guy like Austin Matthews? That's the one that comes to mind because he came out of the U.S. program and went and signed with Zurich because that's where he could make money. He knew he was going to be a top draft pick anyway. Mm-hmm. Goes and makes $1 million in Europe, lives with his mom and his sister, and makes his $1 million, plays great, gets drafted. That, to me, for top-end players, seemed like a really good idea. Nobody else really took that.
It's been a decade, and we haven't really seen it since.
I don't know why, but we haven't. And what I loved about it, too, is he was testing himself against men. Right? There were guys in that league that were 35, 36 years old. Mm-hmm. And a lot of players, I think when you have Austin Matthews level talent, the cameras are going to follow you. I'm sure some people are like, don't go over there because you'll get lost. You get lost in the shuffle because, all the teams are in North America. You want to stay in North America. Imagine what a 10 years younger Austin Matthews would do or make today. I don't think he'd be leaving.
No, he'd be going to whatever school he committed to, if he even committed to a school. I don't know. And probably, I don't know, I guess it'd be deflation because you're going back to 2016, but he'd still probably make $500,000.
Well, and what about I look at a guy like Mitch Marner, who was rumored to be going to college, didn't end up going, could have probably made a fortune.
Yeah, all these kids, a lot of them who end up on the London Knights, they like commit and then they decommit and they go to the Knights. It's just really weird. Yeah, but you're right. Like, I just don't see that happening anymore.
Right.
What I do find interesting about Austin Matthews going to Switzerland, because it's a really good example to bring up and one that I haven't heard enough of. USA Hockey, it would appear, hasn't held it against him long term. Hockey Canada, like, forget it. Like, if you don't play in every tournament they ask you to play in, if you don't play in Canada, if you chose to develop somewhere else, they will hold it against you. And we've seen that.
Well, I don't know that they will now with the Hunters in charge. I think that's what they did last year, and it bit them. And
get
that's
the best players, stupid. Like,
yeah, just invite the best players and do it. Yes. Yeah. I don't think doing things like that either is going to stop a player from, like, if Hockey Canada were to continue down that line, and I know we're kind of going off to the side here. If Hockey Canada, who did they not invite because they were playing in the States?
For the World Juniors?
You didn't even get an invite to camp. There was a couple. Was it Porter Martone? No,
it wasn't Porter Martone.
Who was it?
He got an invite. I have an idea who it was once.
Anyway, long story short, if they continue that track, they're just going to be ignored. And the World Juniors will just not be, it'll be something like, it's unfortunate I didn't get to go, but I didn't get to go. And that will be what it is.
No, it wasn't him. Who the hell was it? This is pissing me off. Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
There were a few people, and I do think it's funny, like all the Olympic discussion, all the projected rosters I've seen have Nick Suzuki on the team.
And he's never played for...
Well, and he's one of the guys they're digging in on. And I do find that very funny because, first of all, he's the captain of a Canadian team. And also, like, apparently these guys have never met Nick Suzuki. Like, I've met Nick Suzuki. Like, it wasn't a particularly long meeting, but I didn't get the impression he was the kind of guy who's bothered by anything.
And what you mean by that is I don't think people realize he's not gone to the World Championships, which rumor has it has really pissed Hockey Canada off.
Yeah, but like, if you've ever seen a TikTok making fun of guys who try to act nonchalant, he's that to like an extreme degree.
He's just the chill guy.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking of Haig or Misa or Seneki or Yakimchuk?
Yes.
Or Parek?
Well, whoever of them
no,
didn't
all
play
those
in the
guys
CHL.
play in Canada. So like those guys not getting invited is just because they're dumb.
Okay.
There was one college guy, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was a major one too. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's the point is that things are changing and they're changing quickly.
Yes.
And there was this. I guess we can play this clip. Jesse, I'm going to send it over to you. This is from the WHL commissioner. And there are varying schools of thought about how this is going to play out. And this is his.
Schools.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. On what it's going to take, or what the CHL and its three various leagues, the QMJHL, the OHL, and the WHL, what position they're going to take in the future with this NIL money available. And Alan tweeted about this. It's about a 33-second clip. Jesse, when you're ready, let's have a listen to Commissioner Dan Neer from the WHL.
I know people who, have flown coach their whole life and then had an opportunity to get upgraded and they sat in business class. Do you know how hard it is to go back to coach once you've sat in business class? Well, the American Hockey League versus the NCAA environment, I'm not sure that playing a Friday, Saturday schedule and then pumping iron and drinking smoothies all week is necessarily the best segue into what the AHL grind is like.
So what he was saying there, I mean, you heard him, was that essentially leagues like the WHL are a better prep course for what the NHL or the AHL will be, where you play professionally.
AHL specifically, not the NHL.
Because the NHL, the AHL is notoriously a grind. There's no question, right? There's a lot of you bus into a city and you play 3 games there, right?
What's the commercial? Taking the bus to Pretoria.
Yeah,
Peoria.
Peachtoria.
Family Guy.
Yeah. And that's 26 kids that are leaving for the NCAA this fall just from the WHL. I think this year will be one of the bigger migrations because it's the first one, but I do think it will be interesting to see what plays out. And I always kind of defer to, hey, what side's paying more?
Well, some
of these kids might not make the NHL ever.
Yeah, that is true.
So would you not just go get your money?
Well, so there's that. So I was trying to explain this story to my wife because she's like, okay, what's going on? And I was like, well, okay, so it used to be you would lose your college eligibility altogether. But you would stay because it was your best shot of making the NHL and playing pro. But what would happen to some guys is they'd be 20, aging out of, I don't know, the OHL, and they realize they're actually not good enough to do this for a living, or they injured themselves or something.
Plenty of that.
Or whatever, and now they don't have an education. So, you're basically left with, I guess I'll try to run a hockey school, or
you could go to
pick up a trade,
because a lot of those guys get their schools taken care of for them by the CHL team they're drafted by.
But even that, I think, is a relatively new development.
Yes,
it wasn't always like that.
Yep.
If you didn't make it, coming out of I don't know, the 90s,
yeah, good luck,
or the early you were just screwed, right? So when I look at the CHL, yeah, they're losing all these guys, but the CHL superiority, while fun, if you're a Canadian and you get to watch these games on TV and you get to go to these games, the CHL superiority was always kind of fiction. It was always kind of forced. These kids should have always been able to go to NCAA. Mm-hmm. They should have always been able to go to whatever college they wanted. To have their eligibility stripped for, I listened to Justin Bourne's book a few months ago, and he wanted to go to a college, but he had an opportunity with, I think it was the Kelowna Rockets. And if he played an exhibition game, he would lose his eligibility. But if I remember the story correctly, the way he got away with it is for the preseason games, they often wouldn't keep the score sheet.
Oh, so it's pre-digital.
Or they just wouldn't put them on.
Hilarious.
So he got away with it. He played really well, and there's this breakaway where I think he hit the post. And he's like, if I scored on it, who knows what might have happened, but I didn't make the cut. I went down this path, and
yeah.
And he's another guy who, he went the college route and played a cup of coffee in the AHL. He played a little bit, and he discovered he was fine, but he was mostly suited with the ECHL, and we're talking about those 26 guys. I do think the vast majority of them are going to make the NHL, because this is kind of the first year of it, and this is the correction. As this levels out and tapers off over the years, it's not going to be a ton of guys. And at very least, they're going to have an education. And I should point out what you said is a lot of these guys, they come out of the OHL now and they're able to go to Canadian universities.
Yep.
I assume guys in the Q and Dub get the same thing, but
yeah,
I don't know the answer to that.
Yep.
100%. I know what I know from paying attention to the TMU team and stuff like that.
Yeah. I also look at this, guys, and this is sort of the interesting thing is the CHL itself is going to have to reimagine its place. And one of the things that I think that they can really win on is accessibility. When you look at what it costs to even watch a game at home, we just saw Sportsnet jack up their subscription 30% and offer no new features. Mm-hmm. Their video player is not any better. It's still 720p, which is 2009 YouTube level. The feed drops all the time. I know this because I pay for it, right? And it makes sense for me to pay for it because I can write it off as a business expense.
Right.
I don't know if I wasn't in hockey that I would be doing that. I think I would find alternate views.
You wouldn't.
And
there's no way.
And so, where the and forget even going to a hockey game, especially if you're in Toronto. Like, I think, there are certain markets where it's far more accessible in Canada. But what I feel like the CHL can now become is that's where you go with your family. Because you used to go with your family to an NHL game. You can't afford that anymore.
Yeah, and the Marlies.
The Marlies. I think, but I'm talking about outside of Toronto.
Right.
I'm talking about, like, you're in Sudbury. You're going to see the Wolves. You're not even going to bother coming to Toronto once every 3 years anymore. Why bother? Mm-hmm. Sportsnet's already taken your ticket money with their yearly subscription.
Where there was a family that came to one of our events, and was it the Sioux? They drove from the Sioux. They were going to a game, and they were going to drive back that night.
That was during the playoffs this year.
Screw that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the point is, I think that there's going to be people that are ready for this change, and then there's going to be people that aren't. And some of the people that aren't are in leadership positions. And I think that it's going to change. It's going to change quickly. Mm-hmm. And the opportunity is there to be the accessible hockey source for families that want to go.
Yeah, and those people leaving those positions of power, it's fine and also a good thing. Like, if you can't lead outside of a system that's already rigged in your favor, then you're not a leader, right? Like, that's what you need to look at it like that. It was rigged in your favor. These kids had very limited prospects if they wanted to pursue professional hockey, and it was rigged in your favor. And all of a sudden, there's a more level playing field. People are able to make the money they ought to, and you're useless. All right, well, go find something else to do.
Right.
I'm sure you're qualified.
Right. Well,
you don't need to be a hockey executive.
It's going to change quickly. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the rules are for getting back into the draft in the NHL, but I wouldn't be shocked to see something similar happen. Now, Nazem Kadri was at the Nazem Kadri Charity Golf Classic, as you would expect him to be. If I had a golf classic, I would also be there.
Imagine?
Yeah. Now,
we couldn't get Nas this year.
Well, I actually have a story about a charity thing, but it's not for today.
What? Can we hear it?
Well, no, it's one that we should probably talk about off the air, and maybe I'll bring it to the show. Kind of like your celery thing the other day. So
that you never friggin' told us.
There's a story you needed to tell us that you could not tell on the air. Well, I got one for you too.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Nazem Kadri was at the Nazem Kadri Charity Golf Classic. He was on the Knights podcast. It was in London. So Knights Shift, by the way, is their name. And I'd love to play the clip. We're a little concerned that there's some music in the background, so I'm just going to read through what the host says, but big shout out to them because this is a great question. They said, I don't know if you've been hearing it, but your name tends to come up a lot right now in this area. Have you heard it? And, what's it like to hear that kind of stuff? And he said, I mean, unless I live in a box, I would hear it. I've certainly heard lots of speculation for sure. And the host goes on to say, now you might be scrolling through something, turn on the radio, turn on the TV, and all of a sudden it's you they're talking about what that's like, or what's that like? And he's like, yeah, it's happened quite a lot over the last, couple of months. So it's a little bit bizarre. He says, a lot, scrolling around and seeing your face pop up and your name pop up. But, it's happened quite a lot over the last, couple months. So it's a little bit bizarre. Kind of just, scrolling around and seeing your face pop up and your name pop up. But, obviously the rumor mill is pretty strong, especially around these parts, especially around, these parts. And, it's a lot of the times it's the rumors can catch fire and the fire turns into bigger fires. So it is what it is. And these days it's just rumors, but fans love to take that to a whole new level. And you know what? Why not?
Why not?
That's the whole thing. Sorry, there's not a whole lot going on in terms of sports going right now.
Right.
I think it's definitely, a topic to talk about. And yeah, why not talk about it?
You know what? Maybe we should have played the clip.
Yeah, a lot of knows. But the point is, I think Nazem Kadri, and it's important to read the tone of this because we're not playing the clip.
Yeah.
He is very clearly enjoying it, and not in an arrogant way, this is hilarious. sort of way. Like, yeah, why not talk about it?
Can I throw something out there?
Yeah.
I'm not a journalist, but I have what's it called? Transcribed interviews before.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to include all the
That wasn't a transcription. It was a transcription like done from the episode, like an actual like AI taking an actual the audio.
Yeah.
So it's the literal transcription.
Stupid robot. No, like because I don't remember who it was, but years ago I put all of those like little idiosyncrasies, and a writer was like, you don't have to put all those in.
Because every John Tavares quote would start with, well, like I said.
Like I said,
Even though he just started the conversation.
like I said, is such a leaf crutch. Holy
So-
it's not just him, it's all of them.
What I love about this, and the reason I wanted to bring this up, is A, shout out to the Night Shift podcast. Second,
Mike Stubbs.
Nas gets it. He gets it. He gets the fanning the flames, literally. a little
Hey,
bit.
whoa.
He also probably understands that he's not likely to be traded, at least not likely to be traded to the Leafs.
Not to the damn Leafs. Nope.
Because the Flames, even if the Leafs did have something to give, the Leafs have nothing to give them. And the Leafs and Flames are not. They're not doing business. Montreal is a really interesting one. Because
They have assets.
They have plenty of assets. They have plenty of ambition. And it would be the summer of Kent, bringing in Noah Dobson and then Nazem Kadri. And I think he fits the 2C hole that they have, which is so glaring. And he would get to come in and play with like Ivan Demidov, which is pretty cool.
Here's what it would give them, because sometimes Habs fans get their neck up when you say there's a 2C hole. They're like, well, we have Newhook and Doc, and no,
They're not 2Cs.
They're maybes is what they are. I could see them developing into that, but they're not. They're just not. Nazem Kadri is that and then some. There's no maybe there. And all of a sudden, all the other guys who, like, those guys are 2Cs until a 2/1C shows up.
Yes.
Like Naz. And
A 35 goal scorer last year.
there's a difference between this'll do and this guy got drafted in 2009 and he just had his best goal scoring season of his career. Right? There's a big difference between those two. He'd make your team better. And if he would make your team better, what are the other guys? Yeah, there you go. You figured it out. He is undeniable.
Also, how many years in a row are Newhook and no disrespect to Doc, I know he's had injury problems, but at a certain point you have to be
part
healthy.
of it. That's part of it.
How many years in a row are you going to be the project player who might be? Like,
right?
This is what, 3 years for both of these guys?
Yeah.
I think for the Montreal Canadiens, if they go get a guy like Nazem Kadri, they guarantee they are probably a top 3 team in the division next year.
Nas fits so well in their lineup.
Oh, he's like
he's exactly what they need. I don't know the assets they'd have to send out to get him.
Doc
from
and Newhook,
Calgary.
I think, Jesse.
I think you want to hold on to those guys. But I think like it's a perfect placement for their lineup. Adam, you also owe people an apology for last episode when you called Sidney Crosby the 2C in Montreal.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't. I don't think Nick Suzuki is not going to be on the top line. Because the Suzuki Caulfield thing's at
I think the Crosby line becomes the first line.
Well, it could be.
I think I'm done apologizing for talking about Sidney Crosby. How about that?
I'm not apologizing about it anymore. I'm never going to apologize for it.
Yeah.
And no matter how disrespectful it is.
Yeah.
I know, but like Nas, if there's actual smoke there, like for him coming to Montreal, that'd be so cool. Because it makes them like legitimate contenders to do something here, and he fits perfect.
Well, and I was thinking about this. CJ said on the last episode the Carey Price deal could move. And, part of making the salaries work is, that deal not being on LTIR. You probably will need to move one of Gallagher or Anderson or Laine.
You got to talk about that.
Sorry. Yeah. Gallagher or Anderson or Laine. I don't know that anybody's going to take Gallagher or Anderson. They might take a retained Laine. He's in year 4 of 4. You give him a shot. Remember, Laine's still only 27 years old.
Yeah, so moving the Carey Price deal is very helpful because to utilize that deal, you have to be up against the salary cap ceiling so then you can get into LTIR and then use that extra money once it's on LTIR. And if you're playing below the salary cap, then you just got to have that on the books and then spend up to there with your players on the roster. So if they're able to get rid of it this year, that'll provide them some flexibility for this season. But you could also just wait it out if you're not able to, if you got to pay assets for somebody to take it.
Right.
But if somebody just wants the salary like San Jose or Anaheim and they just need that, then it makes total sense to get rid of that.
Let me put
have some more flexibility.
Let me put some dollars on that because I was like, oh, I think it's this, I think it's that on the CJ show. So it's a $10.5 million cap hit only this year. It's $7.5 million in actual money owed. But once the bonus is paid, the bonus is $5.5 million. CJ said it's paid in September. He didn't say a date. Let's assume the 1st or the 15th.
It is
I
the
guess.
1st.
Oh, it's the 1st. Okay, well,
That's
there
a
you go.
weird time to be paying that.
September 1st, Carey Price's signing bonus is paid.
Okay.
So then he's making $2 million base after that moment.
$2 million base to add a $10.5 million cap hit to your roster. And there's all these teams with all this space. Yeah, no. So, like Carey Price, I don't know why he wouldn't accept a trade. I wouldn't even tell him to show up. Like, what's the point? You go to Montreal, make your appearances with your cowboy hat, and it's fine.
No, it's a paper transaction.
Yeah, it's a paper transaction.
But imagine he blocks it and he goes, "No, I'm not waiting my no move."
Don't be weird like Shea Weber, who remember that picture of him on the ice with his Vegas gloves, and we were all like, "What?
Yeah.
What is
But
this?"
he was like working out with the Henderson team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Why not? I mean, they're paying you, I guess.
Yeah.
But
And like we're speculating on teams who need the cap space. It could also be a team who's up against it who wants to get into LTIR
Thank you.
so
Thank
they
you.
can utilize the LTIR space and go get other players.
Okay,
So,
Price
thought
to the
about a
Leafs.
team,
Price
like
to the Leafs.
Here's
Yeah.
what I thought about. First team that I thought about with
Florida.
that, Vancouver.
Oh,
They're up against it. They need to be out. They're an incomplete team. And they need to make moves. And they're talking about, well, we're monitoring the free agent, blah, 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 blah. They need space. Carey Price gives you that space. That could be really interesting.
if you got some good capologists in there.
Yeah, which I'm not totally
know.
sure that they do.
the Penguins.
The one thing that really stuck out to me, though, not just about the Nazem Kadri quote, because it's less about him. I know he keeps making Nick Kyprios' trade board, but there's going to be a lot of Flames fans going, yeah, but like we barely missed the playoffs last year. We have a hot shot goaltender. Why would we trade our number one center?
And our biggest thing was we couldn't score, and we're going to trade the one guy who did.
Yeah, and I get that. I completely understand that. So the way I look at it is this. When you're a general manager, market inefficiency is your number one goal every year. The Leafs found market inefficiencies early on in the Dubas and Shanny tenure and then just assumed that they would always be market inefficiencies. And the thing about a market inefficiency is that it changes year to year.
Tampa did really well with that, with guys like Braden Point.
100%. They found, Braden Point was was he a signee?
A fourth-round pick. No, Yanni Gord was a sign.
That's what I'm thinking about. And what they were able to get out of like Blake Coleman from that trade in Jersey and whatever. My point is, market inefficiencies are a moving target. The market inefficiency to me this offseason are teams that go, you know what? We can go another year without making the playoffs. If there are truly 31 teams trying to get better, and CJ confirmed that, it's only the Penguins that are selling. If you start selling assets now, you're selling at an enormous percentage up. Like you're talking, you probably could get trade deadline prices now because it's Raquel, Rust, Carlson, and nobody else is selling.
Malkin, maybe.
Well, not before the season though, I don't think.
No, probably not.
And that's the thing, right? Like so there are teams that want to move now. And you should find out who those general managers are. And if you're a team like Calgary and you do have some veterans to sell, well, maybe you go, okay, we got an arena on the way in 24 months or whatever it is, or 36 months. We got a hotshot goaltender. We got a few veterans we could sell. And why not take advantage of a team like Montreal with a loaded prospect system and go, okay, fine, we don't expect to make the playoffs this year, but we're going to get a king's ransom for this guy.
Gavin McKenna getting drafted into Alberta anyway would be very funny.
Hilarious. I think it's just one of those where I'm like, because everybody assumes that we're going to wait for the first month and then teams are going to have a shit start and then some of them are going to drop off. My question would be, if you're a fringe team now, why wouldn't you look at that, at least consider that possibility and go, let's load up the system a little bit more. Let's get some guys that are almost NHL ready. And you look at another team I look at, and there's some news with this team, is the Columbus Blue Jackets. Chinakhov, his agent basically said, translated a Russian quote, and I guess that there's not been a whole lot of great relationship between Chinakhov and Dean Evison, and that he would welcome a trade. And it's interesting because, his agent followed that up. His name is Shumi Babayev, and he said, in this situation, the player's opinion is the most important to me. However, we're fully aware that there is an active contract in place, and if Yegor's request for a trade does not materialize, he will give 120% in fulfilling his responsibilities. I always stand by the player, especially in this case, and I understand that Yegor's desire to be traded did not come out of nowhere. I'm in close and productive communication with Columbus management, and I'm grateful to the CBJ leadership for their cooperation and understanding, but I fully support my player. And, Aaron Portzline tweeted about an hour ago as of this recording that Columbus management are aware of it, and their position on it with Don Waddell in charge is, we're not just going to accept the best offer available for him. We're going to accept the offer that we feel is fair value, or perhaps a little bit of an upcharge.
So Porcelain has an article that released in The Athletic like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, okay,
and has quotes from Don Waddell. Yeah, because it just happened. He says, I'm surprised the agent went public, but I'm not surprised about the trade request because we've talked about it. He got back from the back injury last season. Yeah, because he only played, I think, like 30 games or something last season.
Yeah.
He was injured for most of it, Chinakhov was. So the quote from Don Waddell, I'll continue. He got back from the back injury last season and didn't play well. And Chinakhov and the Blue Jackets coach Dean Evison fell out of favor. I told the agent he has value. I will talk to teams. I have talked to teams. But I'm not just going to trade him because you said trade him.
He still had an okay season. Like 15 points in 30 games, half a point a game.
But I think that's fascinating. A general manager going straight to the reporter and being like, yeah, he requested a trade. Yeah, I'm trying to trade him. But like, if I don't have a good deal, I'm not going to trade him. But we're trying to trade him. That's crazy.
That's how small the Columbus market is. But it's also a testament to how good Portzline is at his job.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
I
think he's great.
Am not totally sure this is as big a deal as it seems. I think this sort of thing happens a lot, and I think Waddell sort of gave it away there. He's disappointed it's public.
Yeah, but I think where I'm positioning this is more, which of these teams is going to decide we can put ourselves in even better position in 27, 28.
Oh, so you're bringing this back to Nas.
Yeah, if we sell in 26, 27. I think Chinakhov being available, like outside of those Penguins players I referenced, and maybe Nazem Kadri, who's selling? There's nobody selling. It's frozen the trade market. And so if you make the call and go, you know what? It's going to be a tough sell upstairs, and it goes against who we are as hockey people. But if I'm just patient one more year, I can really load us up with some amazing stuff this year, because you can't just let the Penguins take all the good shit.
Well, this is why like a price deal is kind of perfect. Because you're not.
What do you think comes back in that though?
You got to tie a pick to it.
Yeah, like
I don't know what the pick is, because it seems like you're doing Montreal a massive favor, but I
don't know.
They've lived with it this long.
Yep.
Right. Like, and it's 1 year.
And they have the money.
$1 million. Yeah, they have the money. So I don't know. Does a second get it done? Sort of thing. I don't know. That's a great question, because the cap has gone up and it's all confusing. But that's a trade you can make that gives you an asset that makes you better without having to give up anything. In fact, you get paid to do it.
And to reinforce this point, I want to point you to, remember, it's always about the Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ryan Reeves deal. This is a guy they waived. This is a guy they demoted. This is a guy that very clearly, and he told the Leafs management this, there's no place for me in this lineup.
Getting anything back for him, I thought, was miraculous.
And they got a 24-year-old defenseman who's over 6 feet tall, who was the captain of the Harvard. And listen, he might not be guy.
If he turns into nothing, it was worth it.
Right. And I think that shows you where the trade market's at.
Yeah.
But
Assets
for
are
me,
expensive.
the Columbus Blue Jackets specifically can't be in a position to be like, you know what, next year's our time, because every year it's kind of that, and every offseason they fall short. Like the couple moves that they tried to make this offseason, they just couldn't get it done, like the Dobson deal, or trying to go out and get a free agent and have to settling on your guys and overpaying for them. Like for me, like I talked before about how disappointed I was in their offseason, and this is just compiling on that. You have a 24-year-old who seems like he has a bright future, who you have under control. He's an RFA still at the end of this contract that expires at the end of next year, and you can't get them to stick around, or they don't want to stick around. It's very disappointing for me. And like the Columbus Blue Jackets, I don't think should be one of these teams trying to sell off assets, even if the trade market is hot, because they need to be moving forward each and every season, because they're falling behind, and they're getting real close to the Sabres territory, where every couple months, every new guy that comes up wants to leave.
Chinakhov is just that, like, this situation is just Peterka light.
Yeah, here's just another guy, doesn't want to be in Columbus, wants to leave.
Former first-round pick, too.
Yeah, former first-round pick. He's older than Peterka. He's frankly just not as good as Peterka. But, like, one of the... And I always go back to this whenever there's a trade request. Ilya Mikheyev asked to be traded from the Leafs.
Yep.
The Leafs said no. We like you. And it's the greatest thing that ever happened to Ilya Mikheyev. The greatest thing.
Because they put him in a position to succeed?
They put him in a position to succeed. He had the best season of his NHL career. He fleeced the Canucks. And then he didn't do so good. And now he got traded to Chicago, where a lot of nights he's riding shotgun with Connor Bedard. Holy shit. You make $4.5 million because you had one good year playing on the fringe of the Leafs' top six. Mm-hmm. You rode it to generational wealth, and now you're riding shotgun with one of the greatest young superstars in the league.
And Bedard's thrilled about it. Look at him.
Yeah, what a life. Well, screw him. Screw him. This is about Ilya.
Yeah.
This is about Mikheyev. The Leafs said, no, we're not trading you. Best thing that ever happened to him. So maybe that happens to Chinakhov.
Okay.
Like, if I'm looking at the Columbus Blue Jackets and I'm Zach Werenski, and I'm 3 years away from free agency, and we get to that 27-28 season, and I have a year left on my deal, and the Columbus Blue Jackets still haven't done anything. We're getting into like sad territory with the franchise, where you got to trade this guy who looks like he could win a Norris any year. Like, if he dragged this team to the playoffs last season, 100% should have been one of the top Norris candidates. And now we're getting to the point where we got to move him because he's not going to re-sign here.
I don't think this results in a trade, and if it does, I think it resembles the Bolduc
Mailloux trade.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mailloux trade.
Like that. For Chinakhov.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to trade me a guy
like him.
But you don't think it speaks to the direction of the franchise, where an agent's coming out and being like, we want to trade him, and he's 24 and a first-round pick?
I think it's a player testing the waters. I think it's a player.
Do you think the players in happy situations test waters?
No.
And
so it's an unhappy situation.
Yeah, for this player.
Yes, and I think if they were winning and things looked good in Columbus, he would be happy.
They were winning. He wasn't part of it. That was the problem.
I think.
Well, they weren't winning because in the end they fell short.
Well, they did fall short, but they also grossly overachieved, like what everyone thought.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say like they weren't winning and he wasn't a part of it, and then they end up not winning and he's a little bit of part of it and he's unhappy, and I think it speaks to the overall direction of the organization.
When's his contract expire?
At the end of next year, he's an RFA.
So this is a player who's worried that he's fallen out of favor with a coach who's not going to play him enough this upcoming season, which is going to cost him money. Mm-hmm. I mean, if he's not actually threatening to return to Russia, then what are you doing other than complaining?
He said he could return, but not right now. Obviously, they got a contract in place. That's not happening.
Do it.
Where's the good story out of Columbus?
Well, and you know what, Jess? I want to.
The good story is hopefully they build on last year, but
yeah, I do want to mention that
it is still a hope.
I'm looking at his game logs here.
I was just about to bring that up.
He played one game in April.
That's not good. Now, was he healthy? Was he injured? Was he?
Well, I would assume he came back from the back injury and was, because it looks like he didn't play any games in December or January or February. Didn't play again until March. Played most of March, and then by the end of March, fell out of favor with the coach because he went March 4th, March 6th, March 9th, March 11th, March 15th, 17th, 20th, 21st, and then doesn't see another game again until April 6th.
Did he get any points in those games?
1 point through March. 1 point, and it was an assist. So he came back from his back injury, and he just wasn't effective.
What was his ice time at?
13, 10, 12, 12, 13, 14, 13, 12, and 11.
Can I throw it out there that if this player does leave, you'll live? Like, it's...
But the potential is there.
The potential is there, but like I'm saying, he was having a decent season. So if he was
having a decent season,
if he did that poorly after coming back, that means he did really well before.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if assuming he's healthy, I assume your coach is good. I mean, coaches like playing the best players. Mm-hmm. Just prove you're one of them.
You know, interesting with Columbus too, is I think Jesse does bring up something interesting. I think they are a mess. I think the Jarmo Kekalainen, like, I don't understand why people are excited about Jarmo Kekalainen in Buffalo, because he's just bringing more Buffalo.
He left that organization in shambles.
It's going to take Waddell years to.
It's a disaster.
But think about David Jiricek.
Yes,
David Jiricek is now in St. Louis.
Yeah,
noted Walsh client. Now in St. Louis because he was like, they were flipping him around. Now that was under Jarmo, but when Waddell took over, he was like, I'm out of here. I don't want to be here.
Like, all of these stories are so reminiscent of every Buffalo story.
Yes. And
which is why I think you need to behave differently than Buffalo.
And they're not.
And before Evison and Waddell got there, Portsy had that article about the Columbus being the team that parity forgot. You know, the salary cap was instituted like 4 years into or 6 years into their time in the league, and they literally that's the title of the article.
I know.
Is, parity forgot this team.
Yeah. And like the thing that I think is so different in Columbus is, one, yes, it's not Buffalo in the sense that I think they have better management in charge now, because now that Kekalainen isn't there, I do believe in Don Waddell.
I love
and the superstar talent is there to build upon. Like I mentioned before, Zach Werenski finished second in Norris Trophy voting this past season. Like, he only lost to Cale Makar, who's the top of the top. Mm-hmm. And that talent is there, and you have the opportunity to build around that and create something special and hopefully not fall short of the playoffs each and every year. But they haven't been doing that this season. And it's not without trying. They tried to get Noah Dobson, and they offered a better package than Montreal. And
they're in
and
on
they still
everything.
They're in on everything,
like,
and they never are the finalists.
Yeah.
They never are the winners, I should say. They're always right there. They're always the Jays trying to go after Ohtani. They're always the bridesmaid.
But this year it'll be Juan Soto.
Oh, yeah, no.
Can I make
Roki Sasaki? Like,
can I make a sad point about David Jiricek, by the way?
Sure.
So the trade was Jiricek and a 5th round pick in 2025. That ended up being a guy named Justin Kipke, who, ironically, because of a topic earlier this show, was drafted twice. He was a 5th round pick of the Arizona Coyotes in 2023, and then a 5th round pick of the Wild this year.
Smart of him to not go the first time.
So what Columbus gets is Damon Hunt from the Minnesota Wild and a 1st round pick in 2025. The 1st round pick Columbus used on Pyotr Andrianov, the goalie who signed that 5-year contract in the game.
Oh, yeah. Which is basically like,
I don't think he's going to play.
The Blue Jackets will have to buy it out.
there's an out at 4 years.
Yeah, he's not going to be there for the whole half decade. But still, you pick Jiricek 5th overall. Mm-hmm. And the return for Jiricek, who you didn't draft this year, you drafted that was 2022 in Montreal, wasn't it?
Yes, we were there.
Oh, for God's sake. And now this guy's not going to show up until 2029?
And it was somebody you reached on as well. Oh. I talked about this during the week of the draft. Like, that was one of my disappointing 1st round picks, is nobody had him going in the 1st round. He's one of the top goalie prospects. It was 1 or 2, but nobody had him that high.
Even if he ends up being great, you're taking the 1st overall pick. Or sorry, the 1st overall pick. You're taking
your
the
first
5th
pick.
because Alan
22.
The 5th overall pick from 2022, and you're parlaying it into a player who might be useful for you in 2030.
Yeah, so let's say it's 2030, which I think is a good timeline for a goaltender who's Russian, who's drafted this year.
I mean, even if he makes the NHL, he's probably not like a starter at that age.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say he's competent, he's your starter by 2030. That means you had your 5th overall pick from 2022 take 8 years to affect your team. An 8-year timeline for a top 5 pick?
Unless Damon Hunt is unreal.
Right.
Like, he better be.
That's
Who's
disaster.
the best 5th overall pick of all time?
Best 5th overall pick. Luke Shen.
Okay, well, my point, Jesse is absolutely right on. Like, that's bang on.
This isn't a like doom and gloom. Columbus is going to be so shit this year conversation.
No, they're loaded with talent.
They need to start winning soon conversation. And I think the management's in place to hopefully make it better if they can win some of these signings and trades that they're always in on. But they need to start winning at some point here, because you can't go a decade and just not be anything.
So this tastes a little bit like the Montreal conversation we had last year.
Taking a step.
Just a little, that flavor's familiar. But I think I understand what you're saying, and I agree with it, actually. I think we're a year away from being like, all right, shit or get off the pot, make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Columbus is already done with it. Like, they're in on everything. I do kind of wonder if the back half of the summer is the summer of dawn. Because they're fidgety. They're fidgety. They're in on everything, which means they have all this unspent money.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's potential there. There's something there.
Yeah.
They're trying to do these things. They just need to get over the hump. And this should be acknowledged. Like, there's the two things that one is they're doing and one's not. The Babcock situation. You torpedo your season by hiring Mike Babcock. That's your own doing.
You torpedo your decade by having Yarmo and JD run that team.
Exactly. And like bringing him in that specific situation where you have him for a week and everything that happened. Like,
hey, Adam Fantilli, can I have a look at your private photos?
That's disaster. And then last season, your second best player is in a tragic accident.
Yeah.
Like, that needs to be acknowledged, those
Horrible.
two things, because that just soars the directions of your franchise. So, yeah, I think there is more time, like you're saying. Like, I'm a little early on you need to get things going here. We're probably a year away from those conversations because there is history there in Columbus.
Well, I wonder too, guys, because again, like, something has got to break here. And that's why I say the second team that decides it'll sell, if they're more aggressive on the sell, might grab the great assets that the Penguins are sort of looking for. And I think the Penguins, one thing that you cannot deny Kyle Dubas is going to be great at is ripping this down. He is going to get great assets back. I think his strength is finding value in trades. I've always said that. I know Penguins fans really don't like me very much right now because they've been highly critical of how the team is run. But the reality of the situation is that is what he is good at. He's great with trades.
He's currently doing a good job.
And he absolutely is. Now, but we'll see what he gets for Rust and Raquel and Carlson. What I want to point out here.
Can I throw one more thing in there? For Columbus having no luck. If it wasn't for bad luck, they'd have no luck at all. They picked Caden Lidstrom 4th overall in 2024. He did not play a game last year.
You get injured?
Yeah, he played in the playoffs. He ended up playing 4 games, had 4 points in those 4 games, but like just horrible luck.
The Blue Jackets are currently 18th out of 32 in terms of what the Athletic calls your like most improved scale. By the way, the Leafs are 31 out of 32, as in they went.
Oh, based on the offseason?
Yeah. Okay. Montreal is like, I think it's Montreal and who's at the top here? Montreal.
They got a number 1 right shot defenseman.
San Jose, Montreal, and the Anaheim Ducks are the sort of the most. But what's interesting about where the Columbus Blue Jackets are on that is they basically have them net rating at a 0. And, I love the addition of Charlie Coyle there. We keep hearing out of Dallas how much they love Jason Robertson, how hard it is going to be able to keep him, and the name just keeps popping out there. It's sort of like, well, they're going to have a chat with him about the number. I don't believe at this point that Jim Nill doesn't know what number would get it done with Jason Robertson. I just don't know that Jim Nill thinks he can do it. And that's not because Jason Robertson isn't otherworldly. But if you have a guy like a Chinakhov and some of the other assets that a Columbus would have, if you could go after someone like that, you're going after major star power. You need him to sign the extension too. But you've got all the money in the world to sign him to whatever he wants. It is, from all accounts, a really great place to live in terms of like, how fun it is. I think it gets shafted because of some of the other cities in the Northeast, but and I don't understand why there's this thing against Columbus. Like apparently it's awesome to live there. But
we've been like a Columbus propaganda machine for a long time.
We're Columbus truthers.
I like
not
Ohio.
necessarily the
I
Blue
like
Jackets, but the city.
We've had Portsy on just to talk about what a great city it is.
Portsy,
That was like years ago.
shut up about the Blue Jackets. What are your favorite restaurants?
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I wonder if they go, they use this opportunity and go, can we pry a guy like that out of that situation? Because they have Mikko there now and they've got so much money tied up and they have other things they want to do.
Sorry to always bring it back to, the team that we always talk about,
The Leafs?
the Sharks.
It
is, man, this is a great time to be the Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Zero expectations.
I mean, for 5 years, it's been a bad time to be
It has been a bad time, but you have a bunch of really talented young players who seem stoked to show up every day. No expectations whatsoever. Every reason to think you're going to continue to improve, and an ocean of cap space in a league full of teams that kind of need your help. It's a great position to be in.
Yeah,
and I think they're gearing up to take advantage of that.
It'll be fascinating to see what happens. Columbus it's an interesting one. San Jose is very interesting. Now,
Okay, trivia. What is a person from Columbus called?
Oh,
A Colomboni.
Colombian.
That'd be funny.
Can't it be?
Two guesses?
Columbi?
A Columbus driver.
You guys, those your guesses?
A Santa Maria.
O'Driscoll.
A
I'm going to say a Columbite.
Is he close?
Columbsite.
Columbsite?
Mine makes more sense.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Columbsite.
A Columbsite?
Here, I'll pull it up.
How'd they even come up
Hey,
with that?
baby, I'm a Columbsite. Pull up. That's how people are introduced.
Columbusite.
Columbusite.
Columbusite makes way more
Columbusite.
sense.
There you go.
That's better. Okay.
They're a Columbusite.
Columbsite?
Columbsite.
Columbsite, I'm like, there's something weird about that.
No,
Columbusite.
that's very unappealing. Oh, Columbusite, that's a little bit better.
Are we happy with Columbusite? It's got to be, if we're ranking the 32.
I think they should have claimed Colombian.
If we're ranking the 32 names of where you're from in terms of the cities, Columbusite's got to be, I think, in the 20s.
Jesse, you mean a demonym? That's what it says in the thing.
A demon?
Demonym? I had no idea that's what that was. I'm on that demonym.
Torontonians got to be up there. I think that rolls off the tongue.
Torontonian? It's so many.
Vancouverite?
New Yorker.
Calgarian might be top
So
two.
good.
Calgarian's very
Calgarian
good.
might be top two, and it's not
Edmontonian?
two. No.
Edmonton? No.
I love Winnipeggers. Like, Pegger.
Pegger. Pegger might be 5. Like, that's a top 5. Montrealer?
Hey, you ever been pegged?
Oh, no.
Like been through the airport?
Fuck? I hate this a lot.
New Yorker is up there.
New Yorkers
Because
very
that's so
strong.
classic.
Is Nashville Nashvillian?
Oh, let's look it up.
Oh, a Nashvillian.
Oh, I like that.
Nashville, Tennessee. What did you say the word was? Denom?
Demonym.
Demonym?
Demon YM.
Nashvillian.
It's
Oh, I like that.
it should be Nashvillian.
Nashvillian's good.
The demon.
Should be
What
Nash.
are you when you're from Chicago? What are you?
Chicago.
I think.
Chicagoan.
Chicagoan?
I don't know.
I think it is. I
Chicagonian.
think you're right.
It is.
Chicagoan.
It's
Yeah.
Chicagoan?
Chicagonian.
Look it up. This is important.
This is a July ass episode.
Yeah. I do have other shit to talk about, but
Stop
I
talking about
prefer
Marner.
that.
Stop
I
talking
think we
about
should
Crosby.
rank.
This is what we're left with.
Chicagoan.
Chicago, yeah.
Chicagoan. Boo.
Yeah, that
You
is-
suck.
I always thought being from Florida, like Floridian, really dances.
Nah.
Floridian.
You know what I mean?
Floridian. Yes.
Tampa Bay. Do they have that?
What about Raleigh?
Tampa Bone.
Because that's just a metro area,
Yeah,
right?
It's Tampa St. Pete, so it's like it's because it's the
Yeah, no, they don't have that. St. Petersburg.
Tampa
When you're
Boner
from
Peter.
St. Petersburg, that's Russia. It's named after Russia. That's cool. They don't have a denom.
famously
Deonyms.
good friends, United States and Russia.
It says here, named after St. Petersburg, Russia.
Huh.
Reincorporated city of St. Petersburg, June 6, 1903. Named after St. Petersburg. I didn't know that.
Why, though?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I mean, I figured
Adam,
probably
Russian
was.
historian. You should have known that.
Weird.
You're garbage for not knowing.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I do want to tell you that people forget this, but at one point, most of California was Russian territory. People don't know that.
What?
Yeah.
What?
All of Alaska and all the way down the coast to California was Russian territory up until I think the mid 18-somethings. Yeah. Did you guys know that?
No.
Damn.
Yeah, there's actual sites in California you can visit that are like reconstructed Russian outposts from their colonial days. Yeah.
This wasn't in Red.
I know. No, it wasn't in Red Dead Redemption.
I got something for you.
Okay.
St. Petersburg.
Sorry, 1700s. Anyway, go ahead.
St. Petersburg was incorporated as a town on February 29th, 1892, when it had a population of 300 people. Local lore claims John C. Williams and Peter Deonyms flipped a coin to see who would have the honor of naming the city. When Deonyms won the coin toss, the city was named after St. Petersburg, Russia, where Peter Deonyms had spent half of his youth.
Oh.
While John C. Williams named the first hotel after his birthplace, Detroit. A hotel built by Deonyms. The Detroit Hotel still exists downtown on Central Ave, but has been turned into a condominium.
Remember?
That's crazy lore.
Remember when they put the name of a school up to a vote and it was like Drew Brees Elementary,
Bodie McBoatface.
Schooly McSchoolface or whatever? That's just how they used to name things for real.
100%.
Like they used to just do that. There was a coin flip between two men with terrible ideas. Both names are terrible.
Yeah, but also you got to remember living in Florida at that point was fucking terrible.
Fair.
Like people don't realize like Florida was one of those places and like the Caribbean where if you were like in colonial times, if you were assigned to those areas, there were entire units that found out when they were going to the Caribbean or they're going to Florida would rebel because there was so much disease.
People don't like
because like Florida's very swampy, right?
Right.
It's a dangerous place pre vaccines and stuff that a lot of them be like, I'm flat out not going. I'm flat out not going. And so it's
You
interesting.
didn't have to make the show all woke.
I know. I'm sorry, but it's true. The interesting thing with St. Petersburg too is that
What are you
like it
laughing
was
at?
considered for rich people, like everybody that went to St. Petersburg, if you were like English or French or whatever, and you ended up in St. Petersburg doing some sort of education or training or whatever, people absolutely loved it if you were rich back in the day. So I can see why people would be like, oh, you know, if this is a former rich guy and spent a bunch of time in St. Petersburg, it was like an arts capital. It was a culture capital, a lot of drinking, a lot of fun, a lot of places and things to do. So that's why they would have.
St. Petersburg set the Guinness World Record for most consecutive days of sunshine. It had 768 days of sunshine between 1967 and 1969.
I know everybody defaults to Miami, but Tampa St. Pete is awesome. It's just awesome. I can't imagine not wanting. Like, I know why players don't leave.
So, to put a bow on it, Chinakhov's going to get traded to the Lightning.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Got it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Brandis Holmberg.
I see why people want to play for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
No, I get it.
I want to go to American place named after.
It reminds me of Russia.
Wait, where's he from? Let me look this up.
If he's from St. Petersburg, that would be crazy serendipity.
Oh my God! He's not.
Where's he from?
Omsk.
Oh, okay. They have a team.
They do. Avangard.
Yeah. NHL schedule was released. Sportsnet put out an article, kind of some notable dates. And I think the first one is a real missed opportunity.
Screw them.
Brian Hayes was.
I got a video coming out, Adam. What the?
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
When does it come out?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it'd be up already.
We can always check your
I
channel.
shot it yesterday.
Mitch Marner returning to Toronto. Brian Hayes pointed this out on TSN, and I think he's right. It's a second half of a back-to-back for the Golden Knights. They're going to play Boston the night before, fly up to Toronto. play the Leafs here. So that means, everybody's like, well, that means he's not available for the morning skate media avail. It's like, okay, whatever. But the NHL not making this a hockey night in Canada is insane.
Travesty.
Forget it's the Leafs.
It's one of 4 Friday games.
The biggest ratings draw on hockey night in Canada. I'm sorry, everybody else, but it's true. He's the biggest free agent to move.
Yeah, and this to me, it speaks to just how much of a third, fourth, sixth tier league the NHL is. Because if this is the NBA and a free agent leaves and he's coming back in his first game back in the city,
Christmas
you
Day.
know when this happens? It happens on Christmas Day. It is Kevin Durant signing with the Golden State Warriors. His first game back in OKC will happen on Christmas Day, and they'll highlight it. They'll make it the biggest event that they have because that's their biggest regular season day, and they understand that you can just move things to make it a showcase and make it entertaining because it's an entertainment product at the end of the day.
Oh, Jesse.
But the NHL refuses to do anything fun. And they don't understand that it's entertainment. It's the fans. You can hype these things up to make them something. But they want to make it so like all of these guys, it's just hockey. It's just about the game. Like, who cares when that game is? Just the schedule makers just put the games wherever.
And Jesse.
And it makes no sense that you wouldn't highlight this game as a marquee matchup.
It's a Friday night.
Not to mention
It's not a hockey night.
Move it.
Not to mention
24 hours.
You also potentially water it down by having
them exhausted.
The Leafs' first game, having them exhausted, but it's also the Leafs' first game against Vegas with Marner is actually 8 days before that in Vegas.
It's the worst scheduling I've ever seen.
It's bad.
And what I also think,
and it's on like a Thursday.
You guys remember that first Tavares return to the Coliseum?
Yes.
And
it was like a Metallica concert.
It sounded like the Coliseum in Rome. Like, it was crazy. And that was a fucking weekday back-to-back game too. The Leafs started Curtis McElhinney?
Yeah.
Or Garrett
Sparks. That was the big. We had the debate on this podcast when that happened about which goalie they should start in the back-to-back to save it for JT.
Mike Babcock should have been fired that night.
He should have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to put
pulse.
Freddie Anderson. We're going to put Garrett Sparks in.
You don't have blood in your veins. Oh my God.
They ate him alive. And it's interesting. I just this is going to be. I don't expect this to be anything other than. Because Toronto doesn't have the same sort of loud crowd that the Islanders do. But, you have the opportunity to build this up for a week. And as you said, they're playing 8 days before. Mm-hmm. So you could have back-to-back Saturdays.
Not for a week, for 8 months. We could have been talking about that today for a game in January or something, or December. And you're building to a climax of a regular season in game 37 or 42 when it doesn't matter at all. But you've manufactured entertainment and hype around it just by putting it on a specific day. It's such an easy win. And they refuse to do it. It blew my mind.
It also means, Jesse, that the Leafs are going to play the second half of a back-to-back the next night on Hockey Night in Canada. Probably.
No,
they're not.
No,
they're off that Saturday.
They're off that
fucking Saturday. It's funny you should bring that up. It's their only, if I'm not mistaken, Saturday off all year, except for the Olympics.
So I have to check who's broadcasting it, but that might be a TSN regional.
So, oh my God,
that might.
I don't know if that's out yet.
I don't think it is.
Well, Adam,
and I don't know how they decide that.
I think you're being too harsh because you're telling me your butt's not going to be glued to the seat October 18th for that Hockey Night in Canada matchup.
Well, who's it against, Stephen?
Seattle.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Or
same division.
Philly's okay. Pittsburgh's okay. Yeah. Whoa. How about December 20th against Nashville? That heated rivalry on the road in Nashville. You're not going to be you're not going to be seated for that.
The Leafs are going to suck that night because they're going to be out having a blast on Broadway the night before.
Yeah, they're going to be ass.
Here's what kills me. The NHL has reseeded their playoffs to create matchups that are rivalries, right? You do this dumb seeding system that is objectively not fair, that everybody fucking hates except for one man, and you won't build, even though the Golden Knights and the Leafs are never going to be rivals, you won't build a game like that to be I just don't understand it.
It should be one of the marquee regular season games of the entire NHL calendar.
And it should have been.
Not just Leafs.
It should have been in October or November.
Yeah.
What are you
Dude, opening nights!
Why are you waiting till November?
That would be
opening
cool.
nights!
Yeah.
Or sorry, why are you waiting till January? Why are you waiting?
Okay, first step is opening night. If you can't do that, because, I mean, it is kind of far for Vegas or Toronto. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. It'd be better in Toronto. But
heck, make
hey, give us a Saturday. For God's sake, give us a Saturday.
First Saturday of the season. Doesn't have to be open.
The Leafs have 2 Friday home games all season, and that's one of them. Prison immediately. Also, January 31st is what is always one of the games that makes me the most annoyed. When the Leafs visit the Canucks. Because it is a Hockey Night in Canada game. So everyone hates this. Canucks fans hate it because it's 4 o'clock local. Everyone else hates it because Sportsnet usually takes it off CBC to make you pay for it because it is the game with the biggest Canadian audience. I hate it. A few years ago when they made me stream something else, when Marner was on that fucking point streak and they were playing against the Canucks and then he broke the point streak, I'm still bitter about it.
Well, it was a bad call.
It was a horrible call. They had me streaming, I think it was Habs Oilers.
Yeah, I remember it. And we were making fun of you on the show openly about it, and you worked there.
Yeah, and guess what the whole chat was talking about? Not the game I was watching. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Crazy. 30% more on your subscription this year. Congratulations. Yeah. I just find this to be like such a layup, and they've missed it. Now, Jonathan Toews debuts with the Jets on October 9th, and I know, Steve, you got other things going on that you're going to talk about in your video, so I'll kind of leave this, but that was the one that really stuck out to me. One thing I also want to hit on is you did 8 minutes on Miroslav Holinka, new ELC signing for the Leafs. And by the way, anytime you get a 4th or a 5th round pick to the point where you go, yeah, we should put him on an ELC, I think that's a win. Whether he plays a game or not, that's still good.
100%. No, like not every player gets signed, and not every player who does get signed develops well, and maybe they don't want to sign, and maybe you don't want to sign them, but things are going well for Miroslav Holinka. Now, unlike with Chinakhov, a segment ago, when we were like, hey, when did he get hurt? I looked at Holinka and I was able to see he missed like 20 games, and I was able to just go, hey, Alan, what happened to him? And he's like, oh, he had, I think it was an upper body injury partway through the season. He had a pretty good season with the Edmonton Oil Kings, who are going to be an interesting team, ideally on their way up. What I'm going to really look for, he needs to be more dominant. Like, he was around a point a game. I need more than that out of him.
Overager now.
In his 19-year-old season. And I need him to kill it at the World Juniors. He had a very good one. I think it was 4 points in 7 games. He's just what you're looking for out of an overage player in junior is to look like it. That's what you want. And there's no reason to think that he won't.
And so if he goes and he does that, because sometimes overagers go from like a point a game to 100 points in 40 games or something like that.
Yeah.
You're looking for that because you're looking for AHL the following season. You don't want him being 20 and playing in the CHL.
Well, so Alan, I was able to break a little news because of Alan. Because I believe because Holinka is European born and he's under an NHL entry-level contract, he'd be able to play professional hockey with the Marlies next season. Mm-hmm. But they're opting to go back to junior.
Yeah, because it probably is better for his development.
It is probably the
and
better
had
option.
he not had an injury, maybe we'd be in a different conversation.
Maybe it would have been. So that's interesting given the conversation we began the show with, because that's him turning down guaranteed money. Like, even American Hockey League money is still money. That's him turning down guaranteed money to go play junior hockey in the CHL.
Mm-hmm. Because it's better for his development, because in the AHL you're playing against men.
Yeah. The highlights in that video they're fun. Like a lot of junior hockey highlights are just guys with ridiculous hands carving their way through defenses, and it's really fun to watch, but I don't know how easy it is to replicate. Like, everyone, like there's a lot of guys who look like Connor McDavid, and there's very few guys who can actually pull it off at the NHL level. Holinka's just got a weapon of a shot. If it's him one-on-one with a goalie, he's shooting it, and he's probably beating them.
Is he playing with Austin this year by the end of the season?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I've seen enough of him that I'm encouraged and am excited to watch his development.
So here's my question. So we've got these access to the QMJHL, the OHL, and WHL for highlights, right?
Yes, sir.
Can we do a This Week in Miroslav Holinka every week during the junior season?
You know, that
Or
was the
this
plan
month
with
in
Gavin McKenna, but I'll do it with Miroslav Holinka. Why not? I mean,
it might make sense to drill down on like the top scoring players in the WHL and be like, hey, here's a month's worth of highlights. This player was amazing this month or something like that every once in a while.
Yeah. If you've ever watched our videos and asked yourself, why don't they do this? The answer's time.
Yeah.
It's always time. I'm one guy. Do you want me to die? No. Well, okay, not you.
Some.
Not you. But some. But most of you, yeah. We'll figure it out. We have options. It's nice.
Okay.
It's nice.
With that, the last thing I want to mention is
Crosby's getting traded.
Crosby's getting traded. No, looks like NHL coach, multiple-time NHL coach Gerard Gallant is going to Kunlun Red Star next year. They will be playing out of St. Petersburg, though, which is very interesting. I did not know that, but they are the Chinese team.
Yes.
That is in the KHL, but they will not be playing in China. And I don't know if that's arena construction or political situation or whatever. They'll be playing out of St. Petersburg next year.
Okay. The
KHL is very difficult to keep up with because it runs in such a different way than the NHL.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
Like it's a completely different landscape in a world and organization and everything. So like nobody should be blamed for not understanding everything that's going on with the KHL.
Well, like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I used to do highlights for it.
Yeah.
That's tough for Gerard Gallant. Not a ton of coaches go there and come back.
But he gets to live in St. Petersburg. I mean, obviously, I know the political situation. Apparently, it's an amazing city. Wow. So, but the travel must be insane.
I think Steve is referencing his like hockey coaching career.
Yeah. But I think he's kind of had his run, don't you think?
I always think that about guys, and they're like, no, I'm going to work till I'm 75.
Yeah.
Like the only coach to ever win the Stanley Cup and the Gagarin Cup is Mike Keenan.
But he never came back.
He never came back.
Did Mark Crawford not come back? Did he not go over there and then come back?
Mark Crawford was Austin Matthews' head coach in
Zurich.
Yeah. In Zurich, thank you. Earlier this show, I was like, wait a second, who was his coach? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Comes full circle. Mark Crawford, yeah.
Interesting. All right. I wonder, if money's not an object anymore, every time I see the Spangler, every time I see the Spangler, I'm like, dude, playing hockey in like Switzerland or, that area, Austria, some of those places would be pretty sick if you're a coach, even. Like, maybe you're not making $1 million, which is what I'm sure, Gerard Gallant is going to make in the KHL, $1 million+. But if you want to make a few $100,000, it's a pretty good life.
There are worse ways to live.
Yes. Yeah. I love that arena too. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Do we want to do a press conference or do we just want to wrap? What do we think?
We can wrap. That's
all right,
fine.
let's wrap.
Yeah.
Let's wrap.
Correction on my note, just so people don't get on me.
Get on him.
Durant's first game back in OKC was actually in February, but a better example, I should have gone with this example, is when Shaq left the Lakers to play for Miami. His first game back against the Lakers did happen on Christmas Day in 2004, I believe. So there you go. There's my example. NHL, get your stuff together.
Somebody's already commented angrily about that. And they're just punching air right now going, I got it later.
Yeah, I got it later. It's all good.
Yeah, anyway. We good?
We're good. The league is just terrible.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.